Welcome to another episode of Walk and Talk with me, Geoff Wilson. This is the show where I walk around. I don't edit this at all, as I will get yelled at in the comments for. But the point is to be able to have a place to make something and share something without getting in my own way, without feeling like I have to labor for hours editing the words on the page. So today, I want to talk about unintentionally batching my inbox. This is something I did start writing. And as usual, I started wanting to add more and more and more. And by then, the kind of joy of it gets taken away. Time goes further. And I thought, well, I didn't need to walk it today. This is probably a good excuse to record episode 2. But I'm going to call episode 2. So, I've long known about the benefits of batching, or at least heard of the benefits of batching, as in taking a bunch of tasks and doing them at one time rather than sporadically throughout the day. What that causes, if you don't do it that way, is a lot of context switching. You might be very familiar with this, especially if you've worked in a corporate environment where every 30 minutes or hour, you've got another meeting to attend to. And so it gets really hard to get deeply focused into something. Now, for me, I've had a lifetime of being used to context switching. Probably more born out of ADHD, undiagnosed at the time than anything else. But I liked and was even proud of maintaining a zero inbox. An inbox where I never had a single unread notification or message lingering over my head. Notice even the language there, lingering over my head as if it was going to weigh me down by knowing there's one of those little red markers saying that I have something I'm supposed to be actioning. Or a message that's in my lock screen that says, somebody sent me something that I feel obliged to respond to now. Well, over the past few weeks or months, it's changed. I have unintentionally started batching stuff by way of almost being more anxious to work on any of them. And it's had a weird but pleasant outcome. See, there's more and more of my inbox, especially my personal email, as well as my work one. I'll get more emails that I'm like, I should read this sometime. There's that newsletter I want to get to eventually, or there's that task about banking or taxes or something of that nature that I should probably get to. So now it's not urgent. Rarely are these things in your inbox. Whether it's a text message, unless it's saying, "Hey, what time are you supposed to be home?" Then that's pretty urgent. Less for an emergency, more for you don't want to frustrate the ones you live with. But most emails and messages are maybe important at best, rarely urgent. And a lot of them I started feeling how much time they might take me to do. Even if it's a 2-minute task, right? You might have heard of, like Oliver Berkman, I think, is the one who says there's 2-minute tasks in terms of if it takes you just as long to set a reminder for it, then you might as well do it. Or there's the famous 5-minute tasks. Just get started for 5 minutes and, see how long it takes you to get to. But breaking things down into 5-minute chunks so it's easier. Well, I started having more and more of my emails stack up. Just ones that I wanted to get to eventually. Hey, here's, what were some of them? There was an article on discovery methods that as a researcher I wanted to read eventually. More for maybe confirmation bias in my own practice than anything. Which says something which is kind of funny to me. But more like checking in. Do I know what's going on? There was voting ballots, things. I got one the other day that says, hey, you can submit your ballot to the U.S. I'm in New Zealand, but I'm still a tax-paying U.S. citizen, so I can, as Patrick Henry would say, no taxation without representation. So I should be able to vote from afar. There were other tax-related ones. So in that, Nate, hey, file your 2025 tax returns. And there's other ones, just other things that, whether it's something I should book or something that somebody asked me for, a bill I should go sort out at some point before it's due, of course. And I just started leaving them because more like I'd open it, once or two, maybe 3 times a day still, also out of habit. And then just kind of not want to do it, which makes me feel a bit lazy. It would make me feel kind of like I'm hurting myself, because I had nearly 30 plus years of, I guess maybe not 30 years, because even inboxes and stuff haven't been around all that long, and I'm basically 40. And I don't think I was really checking emails at 10 in the mid 90s or whatever. But it's been a while. I've had that habit of wanting to proudly have nothing left to read. And I used to tell everybody that. I used to be like, yeah, you and your 10,000 unread emails, how do you deal with yourself? Like, doesn't that feel so stressful? Not knowing what you've got to do, what you don't have to do. Whereas for me, my inbox is at 0. There's nothing unread. So when I look at it, especially like in Gmail today, you click filter by unread. Oh, look at that. There's nothing. Beautiful. You know exactly what you have to do, which is nothing more. Now, what that doesn't really show, though, is all of the things you had already done to get to that point. So, and by the way, side little interstitial for the podcast, because this is a walk and talk, and I live in a very hilly area. So if you hear me breathing, that's why. Get out to get some exercise. That's the point of this show. I get some exercise. You can get some exercise while you listen along. And eventually we'll walk with some other people. Non-intentional ad break over. So anyway, I had more and more been leaving my emails unread. They're bold. They're present. They're at the top of the list. I've looked at the same ones over and over and over. And there's kind of two thoughts that go into my head. One is I know the other lesson, that if I keep seeing something be unread, I should either finally just take care of it or dismiss it. Just mark it as read and let it go. Or just straight up delete it from the inbox. Because if it's been a week, 2, 3, 4, a month, is it really even worth coming back to anymore? Like, was there something that important in there that if I missed it, it will be detrimental in some way, or an opportunity risk? Very rarely would that be the case. So one, I just leave it until this week, when I realized that I was, again, by the name of the show that I've almost repeated 3 times now, unintentionally batching this. I was still feeling that anxiety of just all of the years before of knowing, but I'm not used to having unread things. But yet, what was happening is, like today, Saturday, I was sitting there and like, well, let's check in. You know what, let me just knock a few of these out. And I did it all in a row. And that's when it started coming over me. Wait, I have just I've been putting these off, as they would say. But I've been putting them off not to like shirk my responsibilities, but to save it for a time where I could give them all undivided attention for a time-boxed period, 30 minutes, an hour, more when my patience would run out, and just take care of it all at once. And now I know, wow, it did almost get back to 0. Now maybe that's still a thing I should work on, but it's down again. There's nothing there that I have to look at like, oh, I should be doing that. I get to sit down in one place, one time, make a bunch of decisions. I would respond to these ones. I would answer those ones. I'll go take the screenshots I needed to send to somebody for this. I would go send the money over for that thing. Just do it all at once, and now it's done. And now I can go back and, sure enough, let it build up again. Maybe till the next week and the weekend after that. And I wanted to record this to be that reminder to myself and anybody else who might feel like this, that it's okay. Like nothing bad has happened in this time that I have not touched these emails. Again, my house wasn't repossessed. I didn't have any like outstanding things due, because if it was an important bill, I still would make sure it gets paid. But like the discovery email that I hadn't read yet, my career I haven't lost jobs over it. That's an extracurricular thing for me to learn. The messages even, messages from friends and stuff. It's like, well, do you have to respond right away? If they're your friends, they'll understand that you've got things going on. And that's the idea of prioritization, of doing what you can when you do, so that you can have more focused time in your own life to do the things that are important to you. The opportunities that are urgent, because they might not show up, right? It gives me more focus time. It gives me time to sit here and, not sit here. Again, I started writing this originally, but walking and recording this. I can have my undivided attention now on other things and other projects. I'll go work on my website later, and I don't have to worry about the old mindset of, oh, a new email just came in. Ding. I should go do something about that immediately. That temptation is definitely still there at work. And most often that shows up when, as you are probably familiar with if you're listening to this, it's like, oh, I kind of want a distraction sometimes, right? I'm sure you do too. But you're like, I don't really want to get in this one project right now, this one headspace. But, ooh, there's this email. I can go do that because that feels productive. It feels like I've made some progress on something, or I've added value in some way to myself or to the business or to others. And that's why we go at it. That's why we attend to these things right away. But over the past few years, after getting diagnosed with ADHD and finally taking some medication for it, which has dramatically changed my life. This is my own experience, not anybody else's, or for anybody else. It's helped me really be calmer about that and feel less guilty, feel less anxious about what could happen. Knowing that even though anxiety is just, it's trying to find certainty without action, without having taken action yet. It's starting to see the opposite of that. That by not taking action, you can actually feel less anxious because you will get to it. Maybe set a time. That'd be, if I was in the super optimization camp, that'd probably be the way of 10 a.m. on a Saturday or whatever it is when your brain's fresh. Just tackle it all at once and be done, and then don't check it for the rest of the week. There's definitely that approach, and I am not there yet. I might not need to be, but this is one of the first steps. So all in all, what I found is this unintentional joy. If I do leave it, and if I tell myself it's okay, I'm not going to hurt myself in doing this. I'm going to just not action these things for a week, let it build up, and then I will take care of it the next time around in one fell swoop, rather than 5 minutes of interruptions when I'm trying to do something else that's meaningful to me. Could be a creative project, could be time with my wife and family, could be going out with friends, could be taking care of something at work or whatever it might be. By saving that time for myself, I'm able to do a lot more. I think that's my lesson for today. My self-little reflection that I hope helps some of you. I think I've walked at least 1.5 kilometers, if not 2 by now. I'm trying to picture where I've gone. At least 1.5 kilometers. So I'll leave it there. One day I'll learn how to sign these things off.